All right, let's see this.
All right, we've got two very interesting guests for you guys. They're very conservative. They think the Republican Party is not conservative enough, so that should be an interesting conversation. Maggie Vandenberg is a filmmaker and conservative strategist, and Daniel McCarthy is also a political strategist, and he's a former U.S. Senate candidate. And I believe they're supporting the Patriot Party of Arizona.
Oh shit! Here we go.
So Maggie,
of course, it has to be Arizona, right?
Thank you for having us. I wanted to clarify, it's not actually a third party. We see the Patriot Party of Arizona as an actual second party option to what we believe is the Uni Party, since clearly we have the Democrats and the Republicans working together in a system where we believe they're trying to usher in communism here in the United States.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Whoa, whoa, what did we walk into, Cindy? This is content gold right here.
Okay, now putting it aside. The funny thing is, guys, progressives agree that there is a uni party, and it's corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans, and they work together to only help the rich and corporations. But what they don't do is work towards communism. That's mental. They are supported by and financially buttressed by corporate donors. Corporate donors aren't communists. They're massively capitalist. In fact, they're corporatists. So why would they go? Why would they fund them against their own interests? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, we could get into a debate over what their interest is. I don't think anybody truly at this point knows what these global elites' interest is. I think we can all safely assume, though, that it's not to advance the idea of individual rights, individual freedom. It's clear that whatever this global system is that is advancing using the uniparty, they are taking away those rights that we hold dear in America. And let's face it, we're dealing with medical tyranny. We're dealing with, government overreach like we've never experienced before. You know, I think you obviously have some disagreements here, but I'm quite confident that the fraud that took place in the general election in 2020, including in my primary, is so outrageously open now at this point that we need this option. We don't have a choice. So I would welcome any quote unquote progressive or whatever you are.
Independents,
yeah.
People that are fed up with the two-party system, come on over.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, at some point, the left and the right have to come together against corporate rule. And so the two parties are captured by corporate rule. There's no question. They just literally pay them. They sign their checks.
Agreed. Yeah.
They give them millions of dollars. And there's room for agreement here because we also hate the corporate media. And the corporate media tells you, no, these are all honorable people and they're having real debates and discussions and principles. No, that's absurd. Politicians are liars and they do what
it's amazing how much Cenk and them agree, but they're just
like the
so
mainstream media will say, oh no, millions of dollars given to a politician by ExxonMobil or United Arab Emirates through different channels, etc., is just charity. Now, so let's see if we can establish some obvious agreement here. That's nonsense, right? Those are legalized bribes, and those politicians work for the people paying for them.
Yeah, of course.
Totally agree.
Okay, good, great. See, that's just, and by the way, guys, that's the most important issue. So if we can actually agree on that, we'd be in terrific shape. Now the problem is,
I listen. It's no mistake that both Biden and Trump have received a tremendous amount of money from the pharmaceutical industries, and obviously we're now looking at potential mandated booster shots. So I mean, there's a lot going on here, and I agree with you. I mean, I think all of us should start to question these things together.
We're about to jump down the rabbit hole,
some of our differences in the fact that I think all of us want individual rights and individual freedom. So again, I agree with you there.
So, but Daniel, see that the problem is you guys are saying such absurd things on other counts that it's so hard to work with you guys. So here, let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you two examples. So if you say, hey, Trump and Biden are funded by the pharmaceutical companies, that's absolutely right. Okay. By the way, so was Barack Obama, so was George W. Bush, and conveniently, all of them said we can't negotiate drug prices, even though the government is the biggest buyer of drugs, and in every other country negotiates so that the citizens pay less. That's corporate capture, that's crony capitalism, that's corporatism, and we all hate it. We all agree on that?
Totally.
All right, great, wonderful. But when you then say, oh, the booster shot or the vaccine is not correct, but wait a minute, no, that's not true. Like 99% of the world's scientists and doctors say you should take the vaccine, and it's not like the pharmaceutical companies are terrible in how they establish monopolies, but they're not terrible in how they create drugs. The drugs actually work. Now, not every one of them, but certainly an overwhelming majority. And in this one, the proof's in the pudding. They're all the doctors, all the hospitals are filled with unvaccinated patients who have COVID.
Right,
so
right.
And vaccinated people who have COVID too, though. You have to be honest about that fact.
Well,
the
there are
unvaccinated die at 11 times the rate. So, and are hospitalized at 10 times the rate. The doctors in the hospitals are not making that up. That is not some sort of corporate agenda. That's real. That affects all of our fellow citizens.
Well, I don't know. There's been a handful of studies that come out and say this stuff, and many of them are funded by Big Pharma. So I'd have to see where you actually got those numbers from. But I question almost anything that's coming out right now. It feels like a lot of propaganda to just get your vaccine, get your vaccine, get your vaccine.
Facts don't care about your feelings. I thought these people were all about that shit. What happened?
I mean, I think it's fair
to
say.
The facts don't care about your feelings.
Same people that you're expecting to kind of be good about their funding of politicians, is it fair to say that it's possible that they are maybe doing something a little bit more mischievous with this? I mean, I've never seen something rushed as fast as this. Now, granted, it's a nasty virus. I'm not denying it's a nasty virus. However, we've never witnessed any type of interaction like this between the government and experimental vaccine and the society. I mean, this has been 20 years in the making, by the way. If you go back to the funding of this, this has been going on for a long time with certain things here in Arizona, for example, that we've seen.
What are you talking about, you dumbass?
Some of these organizations that popped up 20 years ago to develop an experimental coronavirus vaccine. If for those of you watching again, this is all factual stuff. Look up TGen. Look up the fact that our governor here in Arizona is on the board for TGen, and they're the ones that are funded by Bill and Melinda Gates to push this experimental medication. Now, so listen, this is all fact.
Look, that's bullshit because he's not mandating vaccines, you moron.
Listen, you're taking things that
I'm in Arizona. You dumbass. I wish I could have talked to this guy.
That's why I'm trying to reach
My kid has freaking COVID because they won't even mandate masks in the fucking schools, you dipshit motherfucker.
Are on the boards of giant corporations. Are they influenced by that? Of course they're influenced by that. But I know.
But there's no way that it could be.
Let me explain.
There's no way that this experimental vaccine could be potentially.
Yeah.
What if?
Daniel, hold on, Daniel. Let me explain. So I know the ways that they influence them, and we talk about them on the show all the time. So they set up monopolies for themselves. They extend monopolies from 5 years to 7 years to 12 years. They push something like OxyContin, which is basically heroin, and they make tons of money off of that. And I've explained on the show all the different ways that they then influence politicians to get away with it. So why do I say in the case of the vaccine, that's not the case? Because we have had vaccines that have worked to wipe out polio, chicken pox, all these things. Vaccines are, and by the way, some of the
but this is OxyContin is vaccine.
Guys, hold on. Let me finish. Listen,
the FDA approved it.
Medicines
it's not experimental.
Are calibrated to work. Some of them are over-calibrated.
I know both of you guys sniffed cocaine off of a toilet seat in some shitty-ass bathroom cocaine you bought from some dude on a fucking street corner, and you have no idea what the hell was in it. And you're going to complain about this? Shut up!
That show you they are not wrong. This vaccine works. There's no question about it.
But there haven't been any long-term studies. Like, where are the long-term studies? I see these commercials every single day on television. Were you injured by this drug? Did it cause this disease? We have no idea what this thing is going to do to people long-term.
Point me to one vaccine that's caused that for people outside of people that have certain sensitivities.
That has basically been making people sick for many years and then selling them the cure years down the road.
Maggie,
this is such bullshit. I'm sorry.
Does it sound conspiratorial? Sure, but I just think of things in terms of worst case scenario. We have to think about Murphy's Law. If something's possible,
and this is why there's no mask mandates at my kid's school because of fucking nut jobs like this.
No, Maggie, you're playing the odds all wrong. Why did
my
I take
kid gets to get sick because
the chance of getting
you can't put a mask on your fucking kid.
So much higher then oh my God, every scientist and every doctor missed something, and it turns out 12 years later this vaccine caused a problem. So is it theoretically possible? Yes, but right now we have over 650,000 dead.
I worked in microbiology lab. I've seen the research in real life.
None.
These people are sniffing markers.
So you're totally misplaying the odds. That is just, and guys, I gotta ask you a question. Hold on, I gotta ask you a question.
I'd love to have you in to talk about that sometime, because you actually know some shit.
All the doctors in India, Brazil, Russia,
put you on
China,
Discord. You don't have to put your face up if you don't want to.
Netherlands, Botswana, you name it. All the doctors in all those different countries agree to take the vaccine. How the hell did they get to all of them?
The same doctors that are persuaded by the pharmaceutical companies for money, the way that you just described, the way
people. I try to get somebody on every day, at least for a little while.
Doctors in Botswana. Okay, so guys, I know how they do the circuit on how they influence certain doctors.
Okay, please. Okay, let me ask you this question. If, in fact, this vaccine is such a miracle thing and it's such a wonderful drug and it's going to do a wonderful thing for everybody, why does the government have to push it down our throats so vigorously? Why is the Biden administration pushing so hard for he says 80 million. I think it's a lot more than the 80 million people that are unvaccinated. I have the right to decide whether or not I want to take a vaccine. My kid, I have the right to decide. Yes, I do.
You think you don't have?
So you get to tell me what I have to put in my kid's arm? Is that what you're saying? You have the right to tell me what I have to put in my arm?
Yeah, I do.
That is.
You know why?
Okay, wait.
Hold on. Let me explain.
You have autonomy over my body.
Well, no, that's what you guys say on the issue of abortion. On the issue of abortion, that's exactly what you guys say. Okay, so let's be clear about that.
It has nothing to do with abortion.
I'm asking you.
Okay.
You just said that you have autonomy over our bodies.
Yes, I do. I do.
Wow.
So I'll tell you why.
Well, this is what communism looks like.
No, it's not.
There you go.
Guys, don't
this is what communism
Listen
looks
to what
like.
I'm saying.
Really?
Okay.
George Washington was a communist. I had no idea. Guys, did you know George Washington,
if you're swinging your arms,
who mandated inoculations against smallpox, and actually did have the military going to people's door to ensure inoculation?
Well, if it's in your fireplace, it is freedom. But if it's so large that it's going to go to your neighbor's house,
I never knew George Washington was a communist. It makes sense.
You're not free to start that fire.
That's what we were supposed to do all along.
To my face. You're not free. Hold on, listen, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. If I have AIDS, I don't have the freedom to take my blood and throw it in your face because it could get you sick. And if we're talking about a contagious disease that is transmitted through the air, you do not have the right to breathe on me and give me that disease and go, oh, I got freedom. I just made you sick and I made you, forget me. You're gonna have my parents die because you think it's freedom to breathe all over them with your contaminated bodies?
We've never treated a virus like this in America.
That's not true. It's treated every virus like this. You know, here, I'll give you a fact. George Washington did a mandatory vaccination of the Continental Army.
Off the rails, wow.
So, Jake, do you want to come put the needle in my arm?
That's off the rails?
Do you want to come put it in my arm? Will you, Jake, come put the needle in my arm, will you?
No.
I dare you to.
That's not
what are you doing? Are you threatening violence? What do you mean?
He's not off the rails, though. He's not saying anything crazy.
Come to Arizona, come bring your needle and come put it in my arm. I'll tell you that.
But why? What are you going to do?
I'd welcome you to come down. Let's find out.
Okay, so you're threatening violence. So listen, guys, that's why we can't agree. You guys are right about the corruption, and then you go into la-la land.
We're right about the corruption, but we're not right about a potential problem with an experimental vaccine that's somehow
It's not an experiment. All the vaccines are experimental. Do you know that we had a vaccine that was horrible on smallpox?
Most go through a 5-year testing process. Last time I checked,
it went through the studies. It's approved by the FDA, just like every other drug is approved by the FDA.
I don't trust the FDA. I'm sorry.
Okay, but then you're gonna. Hey guys, the funny thing is, I'm trying to protect your lives because now the vaccinated like me. You're right, we're generally okay. I'm worried about the kids a little bit. I'm worried about my parents getting a breakthrough case. But generally, we never die. It's you guys who die. We're trying to save your goddamn lives and you won't let us.
So what do you care?
Yeah, so what do you care if we're
I care because then you say, I want to go and breathe on your kids without a mask. I want to go and breathe on your parents who are 84 and 74 years old and they might get another case. And if they do, then they could actually be in danger.
Or Billy, you can actually even do the Discord voice chat, video chat through your phone too. So
it's been 18 months,
really cool program.
So you want us to live in a perpetual state of the government on our face with needles being put in our arms every month? We don't want to live like that.
It's not every month.
I'm sorry, that's not America.
And by the way, look, putting superlatives aside, I'm not actually in favor of a mandatory vaccine where the government comes and gives it to you. That would be no. Hold on. So that would be an interesting debate, but we can't do it in this country because you guys will commit violence. I'm serious. That's why I'm not in favor of it, because I know you guys will take out guns and murder us. So because you guys are lunatics about that.
Who's us?
Okay.
Who's us? Are you
like,
saying,
by the way,
the
you
rational
know who would actually
people
come to administer it? It would be the cops.
Oh,
and you guys
I would have tag teamed with Cenk on
so
this one, man.
I don't want the cops killed.
I would totally tag. Come on, Cenk.
You're terrorism.
Let me come in off the top rope.
In an American's body, I don't know what is going to happen, but they don't have a right to do that. They don't have a right to come to your house and tell you that you have to take a medication every day. That's not America.
It's not every day.
Move to Australia.
That's not true. They have every right. Your kids have to take hepatitis shots. They have to take rubella shots. They have to take polio shots. They have to take chickenpox shots.
Showing up at my house to force me to take a hepatitis shot.
We force your kids to do it to go to school. We do. It's a literal fact. If you want to travel, you have to take it. If you want to travel outside the country, there's tons of vaccines that are mandated by the U.S. government, and you guys were all okay with it until you lost your minds.
Never before. My children have never had to have a vaccine in order to attend school.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You're coming up with misinformation. Listen,
you have to either get a medical exemption or a religious exemption.
Go to China. They're lying to you guys through and through. Look up facts. It's absolutely mandated in the schools that they have these vaccines.
It's mandated at the federal level. The states are responsible for executing that. Arizona does a really horrible job of executing on
there
that.
are indoctrination centers. If my children were forced to take a vaccine to go to school, there's no way I would have.
Slow down.
Do they have schools? Or do they have children in school?
It doesn't have to be like that. We can have a conversation here. I don't think Americans should be forced to put anything in their body they don't want to put in their body. It's that simple.
Any medication, I mean, anything, honestly.
So guys, the government forces us to do 1,000 different things. The government forces us to, like, if we had conscription like we had in World War II, it forces you to go and risk your life and get killed. The government can force you to do 1,000 different things. Why? The core job of the government is protection of the citizens. And what we're saying is you're carrying around contagious diseases. And it is a core job of the government is to protect the citizens from those diseases like they would from a fire or from a robber.
That's not the job of the government. No, it's not. Cenk, that is an absolute misrepresentation of what the United States was formed for. The job of the government is to protect. It is to protect us of our individual rights and individual freedoms. The government is supposed to destroy itself. That's why our country was formed. Again, there's so many options in this world for countries that operate the way you want them to operate. Just go there. You don't have to.
Our government does that. Our government has a military. Our government has police. Our government has fire department. Our government mandates vaccines. You just don't realize what the facts are.
Because we're drifting into communism.
Yes, to our main point.
Yes.
You just guys.
I feel like they've made me stupider by watching this. I think I actually lost a few IQ points.
Because the government is going to make you take a corporate vaccine.
Yes.
No, it's
yes. It's like. No, that's where you're supposed to be embarrassed and go, no, I didn't mean it. Like, corporations are not communists. They're the exact opposite of communism. You guys know that.
These guys are moronic, man. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Right?
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Call it. It's not going to look like Soviet Russia. What we're seeing is going to look a lot more like communist China. That's what we're headed towards. It's not what you think it is. This is what we're headed towards.
Go away, Baton.
How do you government?
No, it's
how do you government, you guys?
It makes no sense.
It's corporatism.
So if we don't, hey, let me say, he said that it's not. He's not America's job to protect its citizens. So is he willing to
that's why they pay off the politicians,
dissolve our standing army?
So they can make more money, not to kill you. If they
that's what he should ask him.
More money off you.
If he doesn't think it's the government's job to protect American citizens,
that's capitalism that's lost its freaking mind.
We should disarm our military.
That's what the issue is.
We shouldn't have a military. We shouldn't have police. Because it's not the government's job to protect its citizenry. That's what he just said.
Maggie Vandenberg, Daniel McCarthy, it's the Patriot Party of Arizona.
There were so many more points I could have thrown at them.
Please vote for them so Republicans lose elections.
Let me help you next time.
Go to stoptherhinos.com.
Yeah, all your audience, yes. Go to stoptherhinos.com. Everyone in your audience.
Support us. We need your help to actually restore constitutional conservatism here in Arizona. Thank you.
What is she even talking
about?
about?
Work together on the corruption
she doesn't spend any time in this freaking state, does she?
Love you.
Oh my God.
Look into Big Pharma.
Look at Big Pharma. I talk about it every day. Okay, anyways, we tried, and we came halfway. All right, it's better than anybody else has done.
Come and put the vaccine in your arm. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God, the government protecting you. Ah! Okay, good luck with the coronavirus. You'll almost certainly get it at some point. You're young, you'll probably survive. Don't give it to your parents. Okay, thank you for joining us.
Wow. Wow, that was some shit right there. Oh, damn. Good looking, Cindy.